Welcome to the Celebrate Brave podcast, a podcast for women in and around the tech industry. Every week, we dive into the conversations, frameworks, and best practices to help you stress less, work less, and earn a lot more. My name is Nicole Steinbach, your host and the International Bravery Coach for Women in Tech. Let's go. Welcome to the first question episode I think I've ever done. Well, it's definitely for season 3, the first question episode. And this question is the foundation. So powerful. In fact, I know that this is so much of the foundation because this is the number one question I got on social media in response to my email and also in my personal life, even by clients who were working with me and then said, I love the brave thing, but why brave? And that's the question today. Hey, Nicole, why do you call yourself the International Bravery Coach for Women in Tech? Why do you have a Build Your Brave framework? Why brave? Especially people in my network, people who've worked with me in any of the 25 countries that I've worked in, people who followed my growth, I stayed in contact with from college or from other places. When I said I was going out on my own to found my own business, they assumed it would be in communications because I have so much experience with communications, or change management because I have even more experience with change management, or change leadership because I taught a lot of courses on change leadership. Maybe I would do a global career. And actually, funny enough, that's where I started, helping women build global careers. They thought I would go into consulting, or maybe I would do exclusively executive coaching because that's how my coaching started. And I do all of that. My clients learn all of that. I help women globally relocate. The only year where clients of mine did not globally relocate was during the pandemic, 2020. And then part of 2021, my clients started doing the global relocation. We do talk about communication. Most of my clients want to become better communicators. We do look at change management, change leadership, consulting. Most of my clients are highly ambitious and they want to get into that executive realm. Either they want to come into the executive realm in tech, they're already an executive somewhere else, or they're almost into the executive level, or they're in the executive level and they want to enjoy it. So I do all of that, but why brave? The question just keeps coming, keeps coming, keeps coming. Why brave? Why bravery? And here there are 4 pieces to this answer. And I'm going to start with the most important one because it's hard for me. I hear often that bravery, that me being brave, it's so natural. And it's not. I am brave. Let's be real clear. I am brave. I will speak up. I will volunteer. I will say no. I will ask for what I am worth. I will address conflict head on. It is not natural. It's learned. I have made all the mistakes, all of them. I've been underpaid. I've been overworked. I've been dismissed. I've been ignored. I've been rejected because I had small children. I've been told I'm the problem when I knew I wasn't. I had it in writing I wasn't. And I kept going. I have done all the mistakes. I also have a past just littered with big T trauma. Being brave is something I learned. That's why I know everyone can learn to do it too. Becoming brave and always building my brave, that remains my internal life work as a human. I am my own best client, my own best results. That's why brave. And then people say, okay, I get it, but like, how'd you start marketing in Brave? And then I love to throw the softball, which is my husband. So the story is, it really is my husband. So the story is, I was still in corporate. I had wanted to submit to speak at Anita B. So Anita B is a massive organization for women in technology, in and around technology. So even though I'm not a technologist, I have always worked in the tech industry. And so it's for me too. And each year, Anita B has a massive, massive, massive conference called the Grace Hopper Celebration. And I had wanted to speak at this for a number of years. And for a number of years, the company I was working at, the HR had told me, those topics aren't really appropriate for Anita B. And I believed them. And then suddenly one year, I had been working on building my voice and going external and building my brave in a new way. And I decided, okay, fine. The HR thinks that these topics are not for Anita B, but I want to try anyways. So I didn't go through the standard process for where I was working. I actually went as an individual. That was totally permitted. Yes, I go around process all the time, but this was just an alternative way in. So I had already been doing, I mean, like when I say already, for like 10 years, I had been teaching a communications, a change management, change leadership workshop. And it had been called all kinds of stuff. And it was based on the best research. And every single time I delivered it, I made it a little bit better. I made it a little more detailed, a little more simpler. So, what I want to say is, this is a really good presentation and workshop. Okay. I can do it in 20 minutes and I can do it in 4 days. Like, it's awesome. And it had been called things like how to be a leader of change and change management 101 and transform your business organization. It had lots of names and lots of boring names. And I didn't want to be boring. I really didn't want to be boring. I knew that when I got on the stage, it would be awesome. But I also knew bringing people in needed a cool name, a name that spoke to my fellow women in tech, whether they were at the director level like me or they were coming into tech from their studies. So I'm sitting at my desk. My husband and I at the time shared an office. And I said, I just need a name. And I was complaining and I was going on and on. And he goes, well, then do that. And I look at him, I'm like, what do you mean? And then do that. And he says, you keep talking about being brave. Like, just, I don't know, call it like how to be brave. How to be brave. I said, what do you mean I'm talking about brave? And he says, you talk about it all the time. You probably just use the word 5 times in English and in German in this conversation. Just go with that. And so, dear listener, I went with that. And it just happened that I submitted, negotiated my severance package. And when I stood on the stage at Grace Hopper to talk about a guide to being brave, I had just founded my company. The first time I said publicly that I had founded a company was on a stage with literally standing room only, over 500 amazing women, some men, mostly women, in the room. And I said, and I just started my own business. I just left my corporate job. I just started my own business. This is what I'm doing. And that's my next brave phase of life. And I encourage them to share with the person next to them their next brave phase of life. So that's why brave. But that's just the first part. There's actually 3 more parts to answer the question, why brave? The second part, and I'm going to be quoting a lot of people here. The second part actually comes from Winston Churchill. Surprising. I mean, y'all know me. Very surprising that I would quote Winston Churchill. And of course, I can find lots of different ways to say it, but this way of defining the bravery and the courage and the foundational aspect of it, this just speaks so much to me. He said, courage is rightly esteemed the first of human qualities because it has been said it is the quality which guarantees all others. And I agree with that. It is courage, it is bravery to choose yourself. It is bravery to follow your voice. In fact, and this is the third part of the answer, I'm going to quote now Reshma Saujani. She wrote a book called Brave, Not Perfect. Fear less, fail more, and live bolder. And if you have not read or listened to that book, get on it. And this is what she said. Bravery takes so many different forms, and they're all important and valuable. All bravery matters because bravery feeds on itself. We build our bravery muscles one act at a time, big or small. This is what I mean when I say it's time for us to redefine bravery on our own terms. End quote. When we take the quote from Winston Churchill and we take the quote from Reshma Saujani, that's why brave. That's why. Let me give you some examples. Ready? What does brave mean for me? What does brave mean for my clients? You raise your hand, or you keep it down this time. You have kids, or you don't. You delegate that work, or you bring it back in. You sleep more, or you play more, or you work more. You move globally or locally, or you stay right where you are. You negotiate for more money or time or investment or travel or status or work from home or anything else that matters to you. You take a break or you push towards your goal. You forgive and you move forward, or you forgive and you hold fast, or you don't forgive and you move on. But most importantly, you trust your inner voice. You design your bravery. You design your career. You design your life. Because Glennon Doyle, and I know I've quoted her quite a lot on this podcast, big fan. Glennon Doyle very wisely says, whether you are brave or not cannot be judged by people on the outside. Sometimes being brave requires letting the crowd think you are a coward. Sometimes being brave means letting everyone down but yourself. The fourth reason why brave. Here's why. And these are just a small selection of what my clients have shared. Quote, I started when I was so exhausted. I was making big mistakes at work. In less than 1/4, I had more energy, was doing great at home and work. And I just found out I'm getting an 11% raise. Another client, I was about to get fired. It was a huge shock. Instead, I got a new role and my company is investing in me. I sleep so good. Here's some others. One of my clients landed her first 6-figure job. She increased her salary by over 140%. And I love this calculation so much. She calculated she got a 1,000% ROI on her coaching investment. I love my finance ladies. I love all my ladies, but I love the ROI calculations. Most of my clients get 5x calculation. Okay, another client, she tripled her income in less than 6 months. But more importantly, she has more time with her family. She actually just bought her first home. Another client went way past, quote, my wildest expectations. Since we worked together, she's been promoted 4 times. So cool. Another client created a double-digit raise in a time when everyone said they weren't getting raises. She landed multiple high visibility opportunities with top name tech companies. That's with an S. And she's actually practicing her hobby. And for me, learning to build my brave meant that my background informs but does not dictate my future. It means I work with passion and value. It means I live ever more into who I'm becoming and the integrity of what's right with me, what's correct with me, what I am willing and devoted and committed to putting my energy, my expertise, my heart, my time into. It has meant I am a parent I've never seen. I parent in a way that I've never seen, with more love than I thought I was capable of. I have a marriage that is always growing. I have deep friends with women I am honored to know well. I sleep well. I don't give up on my health. I'm committed to me because in the end, building my bravery has meant learning to love me, deepening the love I have for me, truly loving the idea and the reality of me, and moving through the world surrounded by my own love. That is why brave. On these question episodes, I'm not going to give you homework most of the time. In fact, this might be the singular time, because here's the homework I want to gift to you. In Glennon Doyle's book, Untamed, she asks a question, and answering this question transformed my entire life. I don't mean that lightly. Answering this question for the first time has shifted so much in so many of my clients. Here's the homework. Get out a pen, get out a piece of paper. Maybe get out a whole journal for this one. Set an alarm for 12 minutes and then just start writing. What is the truest, most beautiful life you can imagine? Till next week. Brave it up. Hey, before you go, our fellow women in tech really need these insights. So do them a favor, pop on over and leave a rating and a review on your favorite podcast platform. Help them find the Celebrate Brave podcast. All right, thanks a bunch. Until next time, brave it up.